Tuesday. Time for another episode of Mart Radio.
Oh, did you miss me? Well, guess what? I'm selling it. That's right, and I'm going to keep on selling it.
It's the Mart Radio Show.
Some of it you're going to like, some of it you ain't.
Mart Radio.
And once again, welcome to the Mart Radio Show. Well, we got something for you tonight. We're going to start this night out with talking about cheating spouses. We're going to talk about the women, and we're going to talk about the men, why they do what they do. But first, before we get started, we received a letter today, and we really wanted to share it with you. Shaquille?
And the letter reads, "This was my experience over 19 years ago. My first husband was military, and me being a military wife, I followed him. I'll never forget. I had my daughter 6 weeks prior, and I hear him and his friend talking about going to the strip club. That did not stop me from loving him. We went to Germany, and we used to have Friday night get-togethers for his soldiers at our house. My best friend called and told me that one of the females attending was sleeping with my husband. I also saw this female driving our car. Finally, after I accepted the truth, everyone was confronted, and not in a good way. The third incident, I was providing childcare for a female whose husband was deployed to Saudi Arabia. His wife was sleeping with my husband. Even after that, I remained faithful. This went on for years. I finally said enough was enough in 1999. I decided to find me someone to see. The problem with that is I fell in love with this person and filed for divorce. So long story short, I feel like the male gigolos in my life cheat because they're selfish. They want their cake and eat it too. They feel like they can get away with it. The person driving our car said to me, if you were doing what you were supposed to be doing, he wouldn't be out here. Those words were an automatic butt whooping. This was kind of long, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, only some men are just dogs. Some women get tired of the crap and seek revenge.
Okay. Beth, I see the look in your eye.
I am here to tell you, a chronic cheater is going to blame the person he is cheating on for his behavior. Every time he will say, just as if the other woman said, it's your fault if you were not doing whatever, fill in the blank. There are a small number of people, I think, that are just chronic cheaters. They're just going to go out and they're going to do their thing. I don't think that's the norm, but I think there's a small number of people who do. But almost always, a person who is manipulating their spouse, they're going to make their spouse think it's their fault.
Mm-hmm. And if the husband cheated one time and the wife found out about it, she took him back. So he's thinking, well, it was that easy. Maybe I should just do it again.
One time,
you can't
shame
take
on
that
you,
woman
two-time
for granted.
Shame on me.
That's right.
The second time, somebody would have had to hit the road. The second time.
And unfortunately, it took her 3 times. She was cheated on 3 times before she decided to leave.
She was cheated on 3 times that she know of.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Apparently, there was a lot more going on than she knew.
Mm-hmm.
I just take my hat off to her because a lot of this stuff that appears to have been done right out in the open because apparently someone else knew. But my question is, if the person came and told her what was really going on, what did the person, was the person really involved in that? Because 9 times out of 10, the person that carries the news is probably involved somewhere.
Not necessarily, though.
I look at it as being a jealousy type thing. That's why they told her. Because 9 times out of 10, if you see someone cheating, if you saw your friend cheating, would you go home and tell your husband that you saw his friend cheating? No. You know why? Why, Def?
I would tell it. I'm a songbird.
I
would let her fly.
It is going to cause a problem in your relationship with that person that you just told on. Because if the husband comes back and he says, I really don't want to believe it, then that's another problem. Because a lot of times they don't want to face reality. Do you believe that? Or do you agree with that?
Well, some people are in denial until they see it for themselves. But if, like, my close friends, if my close friends come to me and tell me that they saw my husband cheating, I'm thinking, why would they lie to me? You know, it doesn't mean I'm going to think that they're involved somehow. They're just looking out for me.
Okay, but when they come and tell you that, and you confront your husband, and he said, it's not true. Now, who are you going to believe?
Well, you got to think about it. Why will your friends come up and lie? Now, the husband is going to say what he wants you to hear just to cover himself. I mean, I can't prove it, obviously, but if my friends saw it themselves, not really through hearsay, but if my friends saw it with their own eyes, I'm going to believe them.
Well,
and he's just trying to cover up.
If somebody came to me and they told me that my husband were cheating, I wouldn't say a word to him, but I would start watching him. I would let him hang himself. I would sit back and I would just wait.
But at the same time,
would not.
Right. But at the same time, if you know he's cheating because you were just told, it's hard to sit back and wait because your demeanor is going to change towards this man. Absolutely. I mean, it would for me.
Well, I've had an experience in the past, and I can tell you, I can keep a secret. Because I had to keep a secret. But
aren't you going to react a little differently, even if you might try not to, but...
I do have to say at that time we had a close family member who was in the process of passing. So we had that in addition to my situation. So we had a lot going on at that time. But I am the kind of person that I will just sit back and let it roll.
I say that it's impossible to know that your spouse is cheating and you
say
nothing and act the same like nothing is happening. Inside, you will be on fire. And I say that it's going to be too hard for you not to
say I would have to address it.
I just think it was because, at that time we had this other situation that we were dealing with.
But that's double hurt on you,
Oh, yeah.
I would at least talk about it. I would confront him about it.
Okay. Well, this particular lady, we hope that your divorce was what you really wanted, and we hope that that new love that you found was something that is going to bring some joy into your life.
I hope her heart is healed and whole,
Yes, and we do pray that. But there's one thing about that. This one thing. She did it. Why?
Because he did it.
Because he did it. And that brings up the next topic that we're going to discuss. Why do we have to have revenge when one spouse cheats?
Because you want them to hurt just as much as you do. It doesn't make it right, but you want them to hurt.
Okay.
I said in that situation, I said, I wish you could feel what I feel. But I wouldn't go out and do that.
So if you said you wish he could feel,
I love that person. Feel. Yeah, so I said I wish.
Feel that way.
I said I wish you could feel what I feel: the betrayal and the hurt and disappointment and all these things. Now I did not retaliate.
Okay. I think you can hurt him in a different way though. Leaving is hurting him more than cheating. I think.
But sometimes when you're really in love, I say really in love.
What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Tina said it best. You already know that. Okay. I'm not going to keep letting a man hurt me over and over, cheating with other women and my friends know about it. You're going to stay with him because you love him. You can love somebody else. Let him go. And that's just me speaking. That's my opinion.
Let him do what he wants to do.
And that's easy said than done. Do you realize how many women out there are dealing with this every day?
But they have a choice.
Exactly. They do have a choice. And if they're out there listening right now, maybe you can give them a little courage or confidence to make that choice.
A lot of people stay in a situation because they feel they don't have a choice. It may be financial assistance or different reasons, but a lot of people stay in a really bad. Some people just do not like change to the point that they will stay in a bad situation before.
That's misery, though.
I know misery. That's not me, but I know people who will. I can tell you, I know people who will. But a lot of people stay in an abusive relationship, and cheating to me is an abuse, a form of abuse. And a lot of people will stay in some type of abusive relationship because they feel like they don't have any choice.
Okay.
So they stay.
Let's take a break right here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the reasons men cheat. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons that women cheat.
And I want to make a shout out to Geechee Green Catering. If you want it done right, you better call Geechee and get you some catering. Call him at 910-540-6859. Geechee Green Catering.
All right. Actually, that's her. But
sorry, Geechee.
Mrs. Geechee.
Sorry, Miss Geechee.
Reynolds Seafood is a proud sponsor of our show. Located at 336 North Heritage Street, you can get the freshest local seafood around. Reynolds has all of your favorite fish and more. It's oyster season, and Reynolds has fresh North Carolina oysters. Love fish too? Go to Reynolds. They have onions, potatoes, and fish cut up, all ready to cook. Shop local, shop Reynolds, where you can find whatever seafood your family craves. Call Reynolds at 252-523-3474. That's 252-523-FISH. Visit Reynolds at 336 North Heritage Street in Kinston.
Okay, let's talk about some of the reasons women cheat. Because if you ask any woman why a man cheats, the first thing she's going to say is because they're dogs. That is not a reason. Okay? That could be your reason, but it's not a real reason they cheat. Okay? Why do women cheat? We're going to do the women first. Why do women cheat? It's the question.
You want me to answer that first? Well, I think that, and I'm just speaking for myself, I don't know. Some women may cheat because they feel that maybe they're not getting the attention they need at home, whether they're boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouses or whatever. But if that man is not being attentive to them, their needs, physical needs, emotional needs, any kind of needs, spiritual needs, and they talk about it, because I know we talked about communication. If you're expressing your needs over and over again and nothing is done about it, but for some reason you want to stay with this man, I mean, you can start cheating emotionally just through conversations with another man, and it may turn into something different without you even knowing that it's going to go that route. And then before long, you're in too deep, and then one thing leads to another.
Is that like the work husband?
I don't know. I never had a work husband. We might need Miss Beth to answer that.
Okay, I haven't had a work husband.
Okay, Beth, same question.
You know what? I think whenever you have been with a person for several years, it is really super easy to get in a routine and you get bored and somebody shows you a little attention. They might flatter you, or they might have a little twinkle in their eye, and at home it's the same old, and a woman and her husband both have not done anything to keep the fire going in any way. Date night or whatever it may be, cooking dinner together can be enjoyable, but sometimes you get stuck into a routine and then somebody gives you a little nod, nod, wink, wink, and you feel a little flutter of excitement that you've not felt in a long time.
Exactly. I'm going to tell you I'm going to give you 4 reasons why women cheat. You both named 4 of them already, 3 of them already, but you both missed one. And that goes back to the letter. The one thing that you missed was revenge. Okay? Most women cheat for revenge because they know that their husband is doing it. Okay? So I don't need to comment because you just named it all. Okay? Let's go jump right on the men right now.
And we'll let you comment now. Let me ask you the question. Why do men cheat?
Men cheat because lack of intimacy. That's one reason. Women, spouses, sometimes don't have time for their husbands. And that's one of the reasons they step outside of the boundaries. Another reason is the spouse is no longer attractive to him. Okay? She has come to the conclusion that, now she's married. She don't have to dress up like she used to. She don't have to put on the makeup. She don't have to do the things that she used to do in the beginning. And those things become boring to him. And he seeks them someplace else. Okay? And believe it or not, the male and the female both have the same thing in common when it comes to cheating. They both do the revenge thing. I don't know why. Why do you have to do revenge? Just tit for tat? That's what they call that? Why?
I don't know, because I see it as hurting yourself, sinning against yourself. But
so
I know people do it.
that's my reasons why men cheat.
I wanted to address the very first reason you gave. Is that at the top of your list when you said men cheat for intimacy?
Lack of intimacy.
Lack of intimacy? Well, I'm thinking, okay, a lot of men that cheat have one night stands. They not really getting intimacy just by finding a woman. You just having sex. That doesn't mean you're seeking intimacy.
Could that be the reason he's out there?
Looking for intimacy.
No, the sex part of it, because he's not getting it at home.
But that doesn't mean you being intimate just because you're having sex.
Okay. I have
Intimacy to me is more than just sex from a stranger. And if you continue seeing that person that you're cheating with, that's forming a relationship. And then maybe you can find the intimacy.
Okay. Moving right along.
Move on
accept
along.
that one.
Accept it.
Okay. Okay, Beth. What you got to say about the men, why they cheat?
There, and I'll say women also, there is a small percentage of people who just cannot be faithful. That's not a majority. I think it's a small percentage. But some people just cannot be faithful. And they may meet a person and they think that person is the one. And before long, they see somebody else that they think is the one.
Do you believe the theory of once a cheater, always a cheater?
No, because anybody can change.
Right.
Absolutely. How you feel about that? Do you believe that?
I believe, yes, you can change.
Okay. All right. Moving right along then. So we got the men cheating. We got the women cheating.
Can I say one more thing before we move on? Some people think that the grass is greener on the other side. And then some people thinking they're going to find that perfect man or that perfect woman. There's no such thing. You might have these qualities in this person, but then the person you're cheating with has these qualities, and you're wishing that your husband had this quality and your boyfriend had the quality of your husband. You're not going to find a perfect man or a perfect woman.
And I want to say, we spoke about this briefly once before, especially whenever you have young children. Normally, the female has most of the responsibilities in the home, and it's really hard for the female to do the laundry, make sure everybody's fed, book bags, everything, the agenda, taking children to their events, everything. And then at night, be the kind of person that she wants him to be. Mm-hmm. It's really hard because it's exhausting. It's really exhausting.
And a woman feels unappreciated.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, it's a lot whenever you have littles.
And I agree.
It's a lot.
I agree. So we got men cheating. We got the women cheating. What do you think a couple should do if the wife finds out that her husband could be, and she has no proof, could be possibly cheating? What's a good thing for her to do to investigate or come to a conclusion?
I think if she is not sure, she needs to take a breath, because if my husband came to me and he said, I have reason to believe that you're stepping out or you're talking to this person and I'm not, I feel a betrayal. So I think that you need to tread very carefully, but that comes into that communication. And so many times if somebody's cheating, I think there's signs. You may not want to see those signs, but there are signs. You don't want to see them, but they're there. There are signs.
So you're saying it's betrayal if you ask, if you assume?
Yeah, I don't want anybody to accuse me of something that's, horrific that I'm not doing. And to me, cheating is horrific. I don't want to,
But if they just asked a question, is that insulting to you?
Yes, it absolutely is. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm giving everything at home that I can give at home.
Especially when you know you're not cheating. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Better not come at me like that. Mm-mm.
I know early on, Ms. Beth, you said that you would kind of ride it out and, see. Mm-hmm. Just don't say anything in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Okay, as far as that, immediately, maybe I wouldn't say anything, because if I find out that he's cheating from one of my friends telling me, I will wait a few days and follow his pattern. Maybe I can catch him within those few days, but I'm not going to let it linger on for months and months.
Oh, no.
Right.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And me personally, I don't think I could. I think once I saw the signs or someone told me, at that point, I'm going to investigate right now.
Right. Because you want to see for yourself.
You got to. Mm-hmm. You don't want to accuse somebody.
You don't want to believe that either, right?
You really don't.
You don't want to believe that.
But a lot of times when somebody come and tell you things, I don't think that's a good idea. Me personally, I think I would rather find out myself, and then that way I could keep it to myself.
What's your waiting period, though? How long would you wait before you said something to her?
I would probably wait until I got enough evidence.
Days, weeks, months?
I would say days.
Because if they're cheating, it's going to happen again. Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. I've been in a situation where you riding in the car and she get a phone call and she'll look at her phone and say, oh, that's my sister. I'll call her back later.
Mm.
Instead of answering.
Now, that's a sign right there.
Yeah.
Right there. I'll be like, let me see your phone because we're going to call your sister back right now. Okay?
But why would you say, let me see your phone? It's like you already have in your mind. Mm-hmm. Why would you do that?
You just asked me about the time frame of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean after you were told that she was cheating? Oh, yes.
Because I'm already thinking that. See, that was a sign right there. Okay? You're going to look at the phone and say, I'll call them back later. No, let's call them back right now.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Set 'em Free Bail Bonding Company. If you're ever in need of a bail bondsman, please call Gene Dixon at 252-521-1529. An alternate number is 252-227-9050. She's serving all North Carolina jails and detention centers statewide. Call Gene Dixon at Set 'em Free Bail Bonding Company, where she can do the impossible.
All right. If we don't cut out some of this cheating, you might have to call cheating is. All right? Okay, so if you heard about the reasons men cheat, you've heard reasons that women cheat. And like Chiquita said, if you think that the grass is greener on the other side, you have no idea what it's going to cost you.
Mm-hmm. It's covering a septic tank.
Because there is nothing worth cheating for.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cost you a lot more when you get caught cheating. And you know, my personal opinion is that most men that cheat really and truly love their wives. Go ahead.
Well, I agree with that. They can cheat and still love their wife, but you spoke of revenge, and I strongly feel that instead of you cheating for revenge, you will hurt him worse by leaving, especially knowing that he loves you.
Exactly, because I don't think I would do it for revenge. Revenge would not be in my vocabulary at the time. Divorce would be better. Yes. Because if I feel like if I'm not enough for you, then you should be with the person that is.
That's a hard hurt to get past.
And that's a hurt I don't wish that hurt on anybody. I've been there. I know what it feels like, and I don't ever want to give it to anyone because I certainly don't want it done to me. We're going to go around the table, and we're going to wrap this thing up, and we can get home so our spouses don't get bored, so we can do what we're supposed to do as husband and wives. Okay, Beth, we're going to start with you tonight. Let's go. How you want to wrap this thing up?
Well, you know, I think that it's really important. We're kind of going back and visiting some things, but communication is important, and appreciating our spouse, and try to appreciate what we have at home, because if we can prevent that cheating in any way, you know, make them stay interested at home in whatever way, then you won't have this problem and avoid all that hurt. Because revenge sex hurts yourself.
Okay.
Men or women, before you go out and cheat, just leave. Leave. I would rather for you to just leave, be done with the relationship, than to cheat, because that betrayal and dishonesty and hiding and creeping and sneaking is far worse than anything. Just leave.
You know, I'll say one thing. If you, as a woman, if I knew that my husband had cheated on me, I would wonder if he had done the same things with her, to her, said the same things as me. It would eat away at you. It is a really powerful betrayal. Very powerful. So, as Chiquita's saying, make the right decision. It's better to leave than to cheat.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you both have heard it. And my closing remark is to the ladies. Ladies, do what you're supposed to do so that your husband or spouse can do what he's supposed to do. If you work together and use that effective communication, work it out, because there's nothing worse than a divorce. It will cost you a lot more than to take your wife out to dinner on date nights and enjoy each other. Make it work, because this day and time, there's nothing out there that's worth keeping. You've heard it right here on the Ray Mart Radio Show, and we're out.
It's the Ray Mart Radio Show.
Some of it you're going to like, some of it you ain't.
Ray Mart Radio.